Hold on, I plugged in this. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you now. There we go.
Yay!
I fixed it. Okay, I was like, what the fuck is going on? All right. See, this is a lot better because there's no delay. If I would have done it the other way, like I was like, hey, how you doing? And then all of a sudden it was
Yeah.
like a
No,
long
I
delay.
I even heard the delay. It was like maybe 5 seconds later.
Yeah, it was. So I mean, so Jen and I, we've been planning on doing this live for a minute. Uh, or she was supposed to do it on purpose, in person,
In
but she got
person.
cold feet. So we'll let that.
Just
So
a little bit.
so now we're gonna do the live, and I'm actually gonna ask her the question on here. So she's gonna answer the questions live to you guys. So there's no like going back, like whatever you say, like that's what it's gonna be. So just be careful what you say beforehand, because I'm not trying to get in trouble. Because this live will also go on YouTube as well. So
Oh my
uh
goodness. Okay.
uh so also like can you see my chat or is it your chat?
I think it's my chat.
Okay. It's because sometimes they have questions and just so I know so I can ask them as well. So
Yeah.
all right, let me see. Let me go here. All right. So we're gonna get into this. I don't play music just because freaking there might be a delay on the music too, to be honest. So all right. All right, so here's your first question.
Okay.
All right. Am I nervous? No, I was not nervous. Hold on. I was not nervous. The thing was like the system was fucking up, so I was freaking out.
He was nervous.
because because you can't do test lives. And so I couldn't get on and be like, "Hey, like let's make sure everything is working." It's literally like, "Let's figure it out right the fuck now." So that's why I was like a little all over the place. So we're gonna get into the first question. The first question is for you. Tell these ladies no. How can a girl get out of a toxic relationship? Like, what advice would you give to a girl?
I think for me, obviously we are better at giving advice than taking our own. But honestly, like you have to kind of almost sit down and say, these are my positives, these are my negatives. Which one outweighs which one? And honestly, like kind of like we learned in school, like process of elimination. Um, and I think it takes for you to actually realize like your worth and, this is not where I want to be in 25 years. For you to be able to actually go out of it or I guess get out of it. Um, I think, we've all been in that situation where it's hard to leave. And sometimes there is, some psychological things going on. And it's hard to leave, right? I've been in that situation. So I know what it's like. I know what it feels like. But I think it gets to the point where, it's all right, this is getting old. And honestly, sometimes I tell them, like, stay until you can't stand them or you like they're annoying to you. And then it makes it easier to leave.
Yeah, I totally understand the part where you're like taking your own advice because yes, we can give amazing advice, and I'm sure a lot of people give amazing advice to their friends and family members. But when it comes down to like taking your own advice, it's a little hard sometimes. And I've also been practicing that. And then also like the whole toxic thing, I like how you put it, like uh keep going until you can't stand them anymore. But sometimes, like hopefully it's just that. If it gets too physical type of like abuse or anything like that, I think the first time a guy ever touches you, that should be it.
Yeah.
Because I always say like you just opened the door to more. Like if he got away with that hit, okay, maybe it was a push, maybe it was a slap, maybe it was, something small, but now it just escalates to something like a lot bigger. So all right, so let's get into the next one. Where's it at? Do you feel people, especially girls, because it's mainly girls, need to get closure after a breakup?
No. And I think that honestly, the more you look for it, the less you'll find it. Because at the end of the day, you're not going to understand their process, like the way their brain is wired. Because for you, you can know your worth all day long, but if someone can't see it or someone doesn't understand it, or they're having more of like an issue about them, like for themselves, um, you're never going to understand it. You're never going to know why this person does or did things that they did. So I think the sooner you can go like no contact, the better. Obviously, they say, the sooner you can't see them or, hear about them, the better.
Yeah. Uh, Mainly because, well, I also think that if you try to get closure from somebody, I don't think you're gonna get the answers that you're looking for.
Yeah.
It's probably even gonna make it worse, you
Yes.
know, because you're thinking you're gonna go in and get answers, and then they end up saying something completely different, and then you start questioning it, or maybe it made it worse, you
Hmm.
know. So looking for closure, I think most of the time, have you gotten closure like after each relationship?
To be honest, the obviously like I've been in not that many relationships. My two major ones, obviously, I used to be married, and then my son's dad. So I think what helped me, obviously, those two circumstances are extremely like on the extreme part of things, but the sooner I was able to kind of like shun them out of my life as best as I could, because obviously I had to still co-parent. The faster I did that, the faster I started kind of like seeing my life without them, or
Hmm.
being able to see myself doing different things. So I honestly like I kind of am like nonchalant when it comes to things because I feel like, that makes me feel better, obviously, about like the situation. Like, it's important to always know your worth and whatever you bring to the table, like someone else will definitely, appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like what Jen says here. She also says that their silence is the closer, like them not having, because it's a lot harder for guys to have that conversation, be like, oh, this is why I'm not interested in you anymore.
Hmm.
But at the end of the day, like I always say, never try to look for that closure because the majority of the time, you're not going to get it. So.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the next guy or next one. This one's for the fellows that are in here. I know there's some guys. I see you. I see people coming in. Okay, guys usually don't talk except for Jen. He's been active on here. Uh, what are some guys that you look for in a guy that lets you know that they're interested in you?
Is this like physically or through like social media?
I would say mainly like say you guys have gone in maybe 2 dates. What are some things that you notice in a guy that lets you know that, hey, I think they might be interested in me?
So I think, I mean, initially, obviously, like if we're even on a date, because it takes a lot for me to just go on a date with someone, right? So like if they're constantly pursuing, that's my first indicator, right? If they're trying and trying and trying, and then, once I actually go on the date with them, you can kind of see the vibe. So body language is always important. So keep an eye out on that. The way that you present yourself initially, like when you first approach, I guess myself, like if they're picking you up or if you're meeting somewhere, how you approach that first date like says a lot for me at least. Like, did you come, with flowers, or what color flowers did you come with? Obviously, to me things are like super extreme and like they mean something. So I'm definitely looking into details. Um, but yeah, those like initial, and then obviously how the vibe is and how the date goes. When they kind of insinuate like, "Hey, when's our next date?" Then I know like, yo, like he's feeling me. So
Yeah. And so who said it on here? Brenda. She's like, body language is a big one for me. So that's actually like pay attention. Like, are they on their phone? Are they even like trying to get to know you? Like things like
mhm.
that, I would say.
Yeah.
Uh, but like I like that you explain it too because it's a little different coming from. This is what I think a girl is gonna be like. Oh, okay, he's interested. But
Hmm.
it's also nice coming from a girl as
Yeah.
well. All right. So, all right. If a married man hits on you or asks you out, should you tell the wife?
I personally, that's a good question because, sorry, my dog's like peeking in. Um, that's a good question. Honestly, to me, I know I'm like a girl's girl. For one, I would be like so turned off by the man if he's married.
Hmm.
I hold myself to standards. If I know that you're in a relationship, like I stay a million miles away from you if I know that, you're trying to pursue me. Um, I don't know if I'm like gonna tell the wife because I feel like, that would be too much confrontation for me. Um, I don't know, is that my place too? He's probably doing it with a lot of other people. So to me, to like, put myself in that situation, if he's like being gross about things or like annoying me after I'm like, I don't want anything, then maybe I would share with her. But like if it's just like an initial, like, hey, but then stops and I'm like,
Okay, I got a follow up to that.
okay.
Would you want to know?
Um, the hey girly text. That is a good question too. I personally believe, everything comes to light eventually. Um, I guess I would want to know.
Yeah, and so, because trust me, I would want to know,
Yeah.
and then if like, I, well, I say like if you have the proof to
Hmm.
show, and like, because if you're like, hey, he was hitting me up on Snapchat, where are those messages at, right? He
Yeah.
might be like, she's into
Screenshot.
me. Yeah, he's like, he's in or she's into me. She's the one messaging me, and so it's kind of hard to believe it then. But like if you come with proof, then it's a little bit more believable because like yourself, you said you would want to know.
Yeah.
And so uh I think you with just like concrete proof, and then and what sucks is that some people still stay together after you bring them something.
Yep.
So
Another thing
Brenda
too.
also says yes, I would like to know. Lizzie says yes, I would like to know as well. uh Thank you guys. Oh shit, we're like at 13,000 likes. Appreciate you guys.
Yay.
Next question. Okay, this was probably a little bit during maybe high school because it's a little different for people who are a little bit older. Uh, did you ever have a roster?
So what makes it kind of hard for me is I married my high school sweetheart. So I went from like graduating high school to being married like right after. Um, in between, like, when I got a divorce and my second, son's dad, I didn't have a roster. Like, I'm gonna hit up this dude, I'm gonna hit up this dude next. Like, this one's not answering. But girls will always have like their eye on guys. Does that make sense? Like if, guys are always in your DMs, like, bugging and you know which one's down. So me personally, I never had, one lined up and then one for the other weekend. Um, it was just kind of like it would happen.
Yeah. So what she's saying is that she did have a roster. Okay. Noted. And that can be different for everybody. And to be honest, there's nothing wrong with dating multiple people just because, I mean, I say it, say you meet this one guy who, well, he shouldn't be like, oh, this is the next guy. This is the next guy for me. Like go on a date with him, go on a date with somebody else, and then just see how it goes. Because what if you actually don't even like this dude? You like this other guy a little bit more. But some people take like rosters to like a whole different level where they just use guys. Like they have like the guys who uh are, hey, it's a free meal. I'm gonna go, just hang out. It's
Mhm.
no other, nothing, anything else happens. It's just going to get a free meal. There's the exciting person that always down to do like crazy stuff. there's the guy she's eyeballing too, like, but the one that's not really working out. But I think it just totally depends. And when you, like I said, when you get older, it's okay to be dating multiple people because it shouldn't just be this guy right here, you know? Because what if he turns out to be a dud?
My thing with that though is dating when you date multiple people. Like, what if you're seen in public and obviously like just depending on how like well you're just known on social media, you know? With my luck, I'd probably see, you know, the same dude from last week out, you know, when I'm with a different one. So I'm like, imagine, yeah, my anxiety is way too high to be doing that. But I mean, if you think about it, imagine like the roles are reversed. I kind of would be really turned off if a guy's like dating like five different girls. To me, I'm like,
That's true.
yeah,
Because I think guys would feel similar, you know, because they'd be like, oh shit, I was just with her, like what the hell?
yeah.
But that's why you don't go to the same places, girl. You go to different towns.
Towns.
Or yeah,
That's
towns, like
crazy.
because you're over in Phoenix. That's why you gotta go over to maybe Mesa,
The east
or
side, right?
yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta
I
go
never
somewhere
go to the
else.
east side. Well, now they're gonna know what my face looks like.
See,
Well, you know what they
or
say, if you see me out, let me know who I look better with.
yeah, just mind your business.
Or that.
Fourth Gen's over here. He's like, don't spill the game, bro. Like it's okay. They won't know. All right. The next question is, uh, can can you be friends with your ex?
Um, my two ex that I have, no. I mean, one, they're obviously your ex for a reason. I guess some people can be like mature about it, but once you like completely have detached, no feelings, you know, zero hope, then maybe you can be friends. But I personally, especially because they're my baby dad, I'm like, no. They're just anytime that I have to co-parent and like see them, I'm just like, I remember why I left. So, but some people are like, oh my god, like I really enjoyed, you know, their vibe or they are funny. But I feel like you would kind of rekindle things. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a definitely like no on the exes unless
Yeah.
you have a baby daddy. I understand the whole co-parenting situation. Like, so clearly you got to talk, but I'm not okay with like you know how some people still do like family vacations and like date night or like
Oh
with the
no, not
kids and everything. Yeah, not cool with that.
yeah,
Like,
no,
yeah,
I have a rule. Um, if your kid is under 5, they still want each other.
I can see that. I
Yeah.
can see that. But yeah, I would definitely, because it goes to my follow-up question is, would you be okay with your partner being friends with their ex? Like, say you're with somebody right now.
Hell no. Hell
It's an
no.
instant.
Yeah, it's an instant no. For me, at least, I'm like crazy a little bit. Um, hell no. Yeah.
Just because, like, I've seen other people and their exes, like, how they act. They're technically separated, but still messing around
For
together,
sure.
still, like,
Yeah.
doing things like that. And so how do you know that they're not doing that? Because they're clearly gonna be they're gonna say, "Oh, we're just like co-parenting. We're nothing serious is going on.
Yeah.
Like we stayed in separate rooms. Like yeah, like I stayed over, but it was in a different room. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna get a little spicy on this one. Not super spicy. For you, how long should being intimate last? Being intimate last. I have to say intimate because I can't say the S word on TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, honestly, like I feel like there shouldn't be obviously like, you know, you have to last this much. But me personally, like I enjoy trying different things. So if you like are just trying, you know, one position or they like go faster than I do, um, you know, it's just a turn off for me. So one for a person that likes to like explore new things and try new things, different positions, different rooms. That's not a quick session.
Yeah, and I always say like there's like because if you're focusing on her and she's focusing on you, it should be, of course, no exact amount of time, but if you're under 10, 15 minutes, maybe there's a problem there. And this is including like everything else. Maybe there was like kissing beforehand, flirting before. I always tell people like intimacy actually starts way before
Yeah.
clothes are even removed, right? Like,
Yes, and it's so
uh,
important for
yeah,
females.
like if you're flirting with your partner or you're flirting with them, kissing them, it could have started at dinner where you guys were at, right? Like flirting
Exactly.
there.
Mhm.
And then it just led to that. And it just an overall great experience. Now, to the people that are going like an hour, 2 hours, no. that's that's a no for me. Like that's a long ass time. Like, and if you want to go like another round, that's 2 hours. And yeah, that's there's this guy that I talked to, and he's like, oh yeah, I love going for an hour, and I'm like, why? I was like, that's a long time.
I
But
mean, if you find, I feel like if you find the right person, you can go for that long. Um,
yeah,
I
but
don't
I
know.
talked to I talked to a professional in the medical field, and they said it's very hard for a woman to remain moist the whole entire time. So, like, that's why, like, are you guys like fighting through the pain? Like, what are you guys doing? Like, all right, all right. So, what's a good size of the eggplant for you? Like, what's good for you?
Um, so I would say,
You're gonna disappoint a lot of guys on here.
I know, right? They're all like measuring it. Um, I feel like obviously like I've had a variety, so I kind of know what to expect or what is like what. Um, so the really like large ones sometimes are like uncomfortable. Like you just too much. Like visually, like hell yeah, it's large. Um, but when you get to like doing stuff, like it just kind of like is stabbing your insides, and you can feel like your organs just, and that's just I don't know. It's distracting a little bit. Some girls like it. And then when they're too small, you're like, is it in? Is it in yet? Um, so I think I don't even know what average is. That size. In
It's
the
like,
middle.
yeah.
So yes.
So, so you're gonna have to, fellas, you're gonna have to screenshot that and then like figure it out.
Yes.
No, and it's true. It sucks for, excuse me, for guys because obviously guys don't get to choose like
Hmm.
what it's not like, hey yo, Jesus, like bless me a little bit here. They get dealt what they get dealt, right?
Yes.
And if so guys know if you're slacking down there. And I always say like if you're slacking, you better be a fucking wizard with your mouth and your hands
Exactly.
because if you can do that, your chances are a lot higher. Because I've had conversations with obviously like different people on here,
Hmm.
and it's usually a no to the smaller guys. They could be the best looking dude in the world, but when it comes down to intimacy, that could ruin a lot of things. Because it's really important. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Betty says it's what you can do with it. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Or what you can do with other stuff too, not necessarily just the eggplant.
Hmm. And I've been in a situation where the person was like extremely small. Like I was like trying to look for it and see it. Um, but then they just laid there. I was like, no, no.
She's
So
probably like it's probably gonna hurt.
gotta take it easy on her. Um, no, but I for sure I like if even if you're like thinner, I guess, because girth is also important because you need to feel something. But when it's thinner, like usually, if there's like good thrusting or good movement, that's great. Like high five. So it definitely is like how you move it, how you know like how to use it, I guess.
Yeah. Uh, So some people on here say, what does it say? If it's too tiny, use toys. In general, use your imagination. Carmen says, I've been in that situation. It probably sucked. Small like that won't work on anyone, even if they know how to move. Says Diana. And then, like, I get it. And see, that's why I feel for the guys because, like, again, we don't get to choose. It's not like we're out here, hey, yo, and I'm not saying that because I can relate. So just FYI. uh, but do something that's gonna blow her mind to the point where they'll be like, you know what, that's all right, right? Like as long as like everything else is great. Um, so follow up question to that. Say you're with somebody, maybe you made them wait for a little while. You're actually feeling this dude, and you get a little Vienna sausage type of dude. Like, are you staying or is it like, is it time to go?
Uh, I guess I'll let him prove himself. I'll give him a chance. You know, if he knows what to do, I I don't know. Yeah, I think that's a turn off for me.
Brenda says here, as long as you bring her to the happy place, it's fine. And that's what I'm saying. If you guys can figure out how to get her to that place in other by other means, you have a higher chance. But if you lay there thinking that your small guy is going to rock her world, you're in for a surprise. All right. So next question is, what is an ick a guy can do on a date that's just gonna be like, yeah, I'm out.
um, I guess this happened recent. Um, One, talking too much about your ex, like especially if you have kids with them. Like if you kind of sound traumatized by them in any way, or you know, if you kind of emphasize too much on the topic itself and it's about your ex, then I'm going to think that you still have feelings for them. And that's going to give me the ick quick.
Yes. Uh, like I get it. Sometimes exes come up on conversations, but the first few dates, one, to me, it's a red flag if you're bashing your ex,
Mm-hmm.
or your exes. If you're bringing them up all the time. So I can see how you guys feel the same. Brenda says being on his phone, definitely. Uh,
Yeah.
because I say this when you're going on a date with somebody, you're reserving that time to be with that person, to get to know that person. So if you're spending time on your phone or talking about something that is not getting to know each other, like I don't think it's gonna go well.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right. Next question is, uh, do you think that situationships can eventually lead to a relationship?
Um, Maybe. So I think that, sometimes you meet people in the wrong time, I guess. Um, and perhaps, you're figuring your stuff out. Maybe you just got out of a relationship. Um, right now, I guess, maybe you like someone, maybe there's just one thing that they need work on, and down the line they fix it, or, they get better about things, then I think yes, potentially. Um, for a person that's like less tolerable with things like that, like myself, I've never had like a situationship or a thing that had lingered more than it needed to, right? If it doesn't work out, just get rid of it, I guess.
Yeah. Hold on, let me answer some of these. It's Jen says, no, if a guy has you in that place, he will always keep you there. And I tend to agree. So this is what I say. If you're if you know you're in a situationship for longer than a year,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably gonna stay like that.
Yeah.
Because there were some people who like when I do these questions, they've been in like I've seen situationships all the way up to 10 years. Like I'm like, what are you doing? Like 10 years and you guys are
Yeah,
no
that's true.
labels, no nothing. Like who knows it, because when you're in a situationship too, it also gives that guy or girl the excuse to also be with other people because technically you're not dating, you
Exactly.
know? And so they'll use that. Like if you're stuck in a situationship, he hooks up with somebody else, you get mad about it, he's gonna hit you with like, we're not together.
Hmm.
Excuse me. So if you're in a situationship, I think you should have clear communication with your whoever it is, like what his intentions are. And if his intentions are, I hate it when they say going with the flow, like let's just be friends for right now. Like that's somebody who's not interested. Somebody who's interested is be like, yes, like I want to get to know you. Like I do see myself taking you serious. You know, like things like that. Pay attention to what how they respond. If they say going with the flow, you're gonna be stuck. All right. Let me get into the next one. Do you need to be attracted to the person you want to be with, like your partner?
It's funny because I say I like ugly guys. Um, Initially, yes. Like, I feel like I don't care what people say, but you are obviously going to be into someone initially because of looks. And, maybe you like their body and not their face, and that's fine. Um, but yes, initially, you do have to be attracted to the way that they look.
Yeah. Because what I say is like I've never seen a girl and been like, she's not attractive, but I'm gonna go hit her up, right? Like I've always like been like, oh, I like that girl. I'm gonna go shoot my shot and see what happens, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I said like you have to be. I've never just a girl that I found unattractive and been like, yo, what's up? Like, how's it going?
Hmm.
So, and plus, you got to look at this person. Like, if it goes serious, you got to be looking at this person for a long time. You got to be attracted to them in some way, you know, whether it's like their face, you can't say like, oh, they have a great personality, but yeah, but how did you know? Like, you had to like see them first. So,
Exactly.
all right, all right. So, what are your thoughts on a guy liking and following other girls while you guys are in a relationship?
Like I said earlier, I'm a little crazy. That is like a big ick of mine, I guess you can say, when a guy's like following a bunch of girls. And then it just depends because for me personally, obviously, like if a man is telling me like you can't post, this picture, like it's too revealing, or you in a bathing suit, you can't post that. But then goes and follows all these females that are doing just that. To me, I'm like, that's not happening. So I love a man without social media. So hot. So hot. Um, Obviously, if a cheater is going to cheat, they're going to find a way. I think that cheating definitely starts with what you look at and kind of like what you allow yourself to take in. Um, Guys, I've learned this in psychology too. So there's some science behind it. Guys are visual. So they can, close their eyes and visualize a person, whereas a female is auditory. So like, whatever a guy tells me, like I'm gonna just fall for that. So, obviously social media nowadays has people, thinking they have plenty of options, but I personally think that no, it's definitely respect. If you are with someone, it messes with the girl's head too. So like if I see a guy, obviously like my body's not did up. If I see them liking like BBL girls, in my head I'm like, do I need to go do that for my man to like me? So it definitely plays with the girl's head, and I'm sure a lot of girls can relate to that.
Oh, absolutely. I get those comments all the time, or and questions too.
Mhm.
Girls saying like, "Hey, how come he follows all these girls? Like, is that what he's into?" You know, I always say like that dude just has no respect for you if like that's what he continues to do. And if you bring it up and he continues to do it, he clearly has very little respect for you.
Correct.
Because like if it were to flip, it would be a problem.
Hmm.
Maybe you're cheating. Like he would say that you're cheating, like you're doing this, you're doing that, right? Uh, and so, and just to back my fellas up too, I think when it's okay to do that, when you're single. Like if you're single, do single things. Because
Hmm.
there was I had a conversation, and they said that it was an ick for them if a guy, not dating, they're just like probably getting to know each other. If he follows a bunch of girls,
Yeah.
like that's a ick. And I
Hmm.
was like, let my man do single stuff, right? Because he's single, he wants to follow girls, uh, he wants to sign up for somebody's spicy channel. Let him do his thing, whatever. He needs to use old Manuela to get himself off, right? Uh, but that changes if you get into a relationship with somebody. Now you can't continue that same behavior because obviously that's they have no respect for you. So that's why I always say like, I'm gonna back up my guys, the single guys. But if you're in a relationship, I'm not backing you up. Like that's wrong, fam. All right, let me get into the next question. For you, does a man need to be well groomed in the downstairs area, or are you like the wild forest type of situation?
I personally like hate hair on myself. I would hope that, my partner takes care of themselves. I don't mind the hair on the guy, but if it stinks down there and the hair is causing you to smell down there, we're not getting close to the area, like, but if you're, if you shower, if you keep it, trimmed, whatever, then make sure you like landscape a little heart for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I would just say just keep it clean down there. Like
Mhm.
obviously, like hygiene is a huge thing,
Yeah.
but a little manscaping down there goes a long way. Like if it's nice and I'm not saying go bald. I'm just saying like keep it nice and trimmed. So some guys, it's gonna add some inches down there. So visually. So but some people like clearly Jen likes it all crazy down there too. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I didn't say I liked it. I said I don't mind it.
She said she didn't mind it as long as it's clean. That's technically saying it's a pass. All right. Next question is, ooh, this is a good one. And if you don't want to answer it, totally fine. uh, do you have an ex that doesn't know you cheated on him?
Um, that's funny. Um,
That's a yes.
I'm gonna expose myself. Loud. They're all just gonna be like I said. I don't have a lot of exes, so they're just gonna be like, "Oh shit, was this me?"
Yeah.
Um, no, I'm never like. I feel like when you get to that point, at least for me, um, they find out, like But so no, I would say no.
Okay. Because everybody in my chat is saying you did based off that reaction. And I have yet to get somebody to answer that and say like yes. Brenda says yes. My ex-husband doesn't know I cheated on him.
Period.
It's, I mean, to each their own.
Yeah,
And
I
there's
guess.
nothing like, of course, like maybe it was a certain reason you got there because, like, say you're married, but technically the relationship is over. You guys are
Mhm.
separated, but you did hook up with somebody else. So like it could be that type of situation too. Hold on, let me. So whenever you've ended a relationship, how long or some like if you were to give somebody advice, do you take to get over a relationship?
I'm so bad at this. Um, so like I said, this small amount of, relationships that I've had been obviously with my kids' dads. It took me like, I want to say like 2 years to fully like start dating and like open up fully after my son's dad. Because I was like really hurt by that. But when it comes to like boyfriends after that, like I feel like when you split with your kid's dad, it teaches you so much. And any relationship after that is just, you just treat it differently and you approach things differently just because, you know, you've felt some deep, pain. So anything that comes after that is almost like, I got it. So
Yeah.
I think after that, like, I move on pretty quickly because, like, I can shun someone out of my life and not ever see them if I don't have to co-parent. And usually women are like way checked out before they leave, like way checked out. So it just makes things easier to stay away from someone. But yeah.
Uh, Jen says, "How can you move on quickly?"
So, I mean, it just depends on the relationship. Like I said, with my son's dad, I was so in love with this man. It took me a few years to, really open up and see myself with someone else. After that, to be honest, I guess if you are dating someone and, you kind of maintain yourself guarded or like with walls, it does make it a little easier to, be gone when it's time. But I don't know. Everyone's different. Everyone's like emotionally different. I feel like for me, I'm very in tune with my emotions and myself. And I know my worth. I know like what I bring to the table, and like confidence helps too.
Yeah, and I mean, I tell people the same thing is that like there's no right amount of time. Some people may get over somebody super quick. Some people it takes a long time. But
Yeah.
uh, and you just got to be careful too because once you get out of a relationship and you get into another one, typically they're a rebound, or you don't like not fully healed. There's those people who jump from relationship to relationship. Like I know a few people like that haven't even learned to be single because they get out of one relationship and then they jump into another one and then they jump into another one. And I think that's the problem is that they feel like they need to fill that void, that
Mhm.
loneliness, whatever it is, with somebody else. They're thinking that they need somebody. What they need is to learn to be alone for a little bit. Like take a while, because again, it depends. After my longest relationship, I don't think I went out on a date or hung out with anybody for like 2.5 years. Because uh, I was just so hurt by
Mhm.
that because you're together with somebody for a long time, right? And then it's just over. And so you go through a lot of different emotions afterwards, and especially like this is why I block people off, or like I block exes, is because like seeing them maybe even go on a date with somebody else like low key hurts.
Yeah.
Like uh that's why it's different for me. If somebody were to tell me, "Hey, I saw your ex on a date," I'd be like, "All right, whatever." But when you see it, it's a little different. So, uh, but I agree. Like everybody heals differently, and there's no right way. But if you're having a hard time, I always recommend therapy, counseling, something like that, because they're gonna help you get past this or show you the steps, to get past this. So. But what if she blocks you? Hey, if she blocks me, that's totally fine. That's what I learned is like if I'm in a relationship with somebody, like say we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and I let them know ahead of time. uh, Even if we ended on good terms, whatever the case, I'm going to block you. Because this is helps me get over you, and move on. Uh, and again, like the whole seeing them maybe out on a date or something like that is not gonna suck as because you're not seeing it.
Yeah.
So, all right, next question. Let's see. Uh, 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 uh. uh. Okay, this is a good one. What's an important lesson you've learned from your last relationship?
Um, I would say, I mean, one, you can't just blame everything on that person, obviously. Um, I think to be able to move on and to be able to be better, you have to take accountability for, your own actions. Obviously, if something didn't work out, like there has to be something on both ends. Um, when I was younger, a lot younger, it was easier for me to be like, they did this, they did that. But as you mature, you kind of learn, you know, um, to just be different and accept things for what they are. Um, I think that's one of the biggest things that I learned is to take accountability for sure.
I like that. Brenda says, give what you receive, which is so true because there's sometimes, depending on who it is, uh, like somebody feels like they put in all the effort and the other person they've never put in anything. You know what I mean? Like there's some people like I did so much for this person and they barely did anything. Like maybe pay attention to that, for your next relationship. So uh thank you for sharing that. And then it says once you notice they are narcissists, run. Yes. Stop thinking that you're gonna fix people. I think that's another one that a lot of people do is that they think, "Oh, I'm gonna fix him." I don't think
Me,
so.
me thinking I'm a doctor.
All right. So next question that I have is, would you date somebody who lives at home with their mom and dad?
I've done that one before. I always say like I'm like all talk. I'm like, oh, I want a man that's this, I want a man that's that. And then when it comes down to it, I'm like, I myself, I feel like I'm pretty humble. Um, you always want to give the person the benefit of the doubt. Like maybe they're in transition. I don't know, but I've done it. And I guess moving forward, probably not. Like as I get older, like I know what I want in a partner, and that's probably not one thing that would turn me on too much.
Yeah, and especially the older you get too. I'm sure that people who get older, that's more of a like, why are you still there?
Yeah.
Right?
Hmm.
Like how are you 40 and at home? Like what's the like I get it, rent is expensive, uh, in certain places,
Hmm.
but why haven't you grown in your career or whatever it is to be able to be on your own?
Yeah.
Like, why are you still struggling that way? And it could also be uh, like a financial, like they might have some financial problems too.
Yeah.
So somebody asked, how old are you?
I am 29. I turned
29
30
years old.
in November. Scorpio.
About to hit the dirty 30.
Yes.
My brother lives with our mom, and I would say no. Um, nope. Uh, Jen also says, or if they don't have a job. I think that's another like
Yeah.
if they to me if they don't have a car or a job to come at least pick you up. Like if you're picking them up,
So like,
like
can I borrow your car to take you on dates?
that's
Yeah.
one or like the girl pays for. How
Oh
embarrassing
my
would that
gosh,
be?
that's horrible. Stop it.
uh, all right. All right. So you don't have to answer this one if you don't want to.
Let's see.
But what's something you would never do in the bedroom again?
Um, shoot, I've been trying everything. Um, I don't know. Like that I tried that I didn't like.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I tried it, I'm like, I'm for it.
Let's
But
do it
like
again.
yeah, well, like I said, I'm pretty open to like try new things. So if I did it, then I would do it again. So I
I mean,
no
that's a perfect answer. She's
no
uh
regret.
fel fellas, she's a freak, so
I'm a Scorpio.
yeah. Because if they say like whatever goes, probably everything goes. Hold on. G- okay. Is it okay to go from a relationship with someone for a long period of time, uh, to like just a friends with benefits?
So like break up with that person to be just friends with benefits? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, would you be able to do that?
Yeah, I would say um like let's say, you're not compatible, but you're still trying to smash, on a night out. Oh, maybe, yeah.
That's true too.
Hmm.
But here's the thing. I say why maybe you shouldn't is because it's going to be difficult to move on too. Like Because like, what if one of you two have like certain feelings for each other still?
Yeah.
It's gonna it's gonna delay that healing process because maybe you get that false sense of hope that meant like I mean we hooked up, everything was great, maybe this could work, right? Because I say it all the time too. Like once you date, say you have a best friend and you guys date and been intimate and everything, it's
Mhm.
probably not gonna go back to that, right?
Mm-mm.
Like to the friend thing.
Yeah.
Like now it's gonna be awkward. Now it's gonna be weird. And the same with like the like keeping like a friends with benefits that's your ex.
Hmm.
I think it's gonna be a little bit difficult to heal and get past that because like I did a whole podcast episode on that. Like that was a whole big thing.
I feel like that's like healed me would say that, but sometimes like if you want to be toxic, like that's an option because you're not gaining another body. So
I mean, there's some people out there. I mean, if you don't want to gain another body, hold on. Good plug. Go to naughtyscience.com. Okay. Get yourself something and like you don't have to catch another body because like you never know. Like you catch another body and it's like one of the worst like intimacy times in your life.
and then it doesn't
So
count. You can erase it.
that's true too. It
Hmm.
doesn't count. Now I always say like after 7 years, your exes fall off your resume.
Right. That's good. I like that
Uh,
one.
all right. So here's the last question: if the guy doesn't get you to the happy place, is that a deal breaker?
Um, to me, honestly, like it's very freak, or I guess it's nothing new that sometimes women don't get the oh by a guy, right? Um, I personally use toys when I am intimate with men. Um, but if they're like, for me, no, it's not like a deal breaker. But if they're also not trying anything, like they're just like laying there, just and then you have to do your own, like that is a deal breaker. To me, that's like a turn off. Um, so there has to be some sort of reciprocation, like helping. They say toys are your friends, guys. Um, but also like do something. Don't just let the little toy do all the work.
Or don't let him think that the toy is doing all the work. And see, here's the okay. Before I get into this part, have you ever faked it?
No.
Okay, because there's some
Hell
people,
no.
there's some people on here who I tell them it's bad to fake it because now the guy thinks that whatever you did or whatever they did
Hmm.
worked.
Yeah.
And so now they're not trying to actually get you there because I'm sure most guys in the beginning they want to make sure that the girl gets hers too. You know,
Most.
yeah, and but if you lie to him by saying that it was the best or you got there, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing him a disservice because now he's not gonna be trying to get you there. Like you could easily be like, oh, like it takes me a little bit, but usually if you do this, it
Hmm.
helps me. And now the guy's like, oh, okay, like maybe I should do this more,
Yeah.
right? Uh, but yeah, definitely do not fake it because there's too many girls out here faking it, and it does nothing for the guy. And don't would you tell somebody that you didn't finish?
Yeah. 100%. So I guess it just depends. I'm not just like out here, smashing.
Must be nice. I didn't get mine.
But yeah, I'm like super open about it. And, like, why aren't you, like, if someone's not trying, like, to me, that's going to raise concern. I'm like, it's not just about you in this scenario, right? Like, sex to me is big and huge in a relationship. So, like, we have to be on the same page when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Even and I'm glad you brought it up too. Is that even including toys, there's nothing wrong with that because it just makes they're not trying to add toys to be like you're not enough.
Yeah.
You know, they're just trying to make the experience better. And then if you can just make it a great experience, they're gonna like it's
Hmm.
gonna be great for you, she's gonna turn more into a freak for you, and then like you're just gonna have fun, right? There, and you can experiment different ways. And I feel like doing stuff like that is going to make your relationship potentially last a little bit longer because there's a lot of people on here who are like their their partner is super vanilla. There's because they didn't want to say anything in the beginning either,
Mhm.
and I tell them like after like it when you knew they pretty vanilla and you didn't tell them anything, what makes you think 5 years down the road they're gonna be any different?
Yeah.
Like if they think that whatever they doing there is perfectly fine, they're gonna continue to do the same thing. So, and it's also better. Like I tell the girls all the time, you guys have a lot of power, especially in the very beginning of the relationship. If you're like, oh, like I wish you would do more of this. If the guy's into you, he's gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna do that because
Yeah.
that's what she's into.
Mhm.
If you bring it up 5 years later, they're gonna be like, I've been doing it this way for this long, and now it's a problem. Like, so that's why I'm saying like, don't wait. Like if you're gonna try to change that vanilla dude up, you got to do it sooner. So,
Mhm.
uh, but I want to thank you for jumping on and chatting with me. If you guys haven't followed her, definitely give her a follow. And if you guys are in the Arizona area, she does teeth whitening. She also does the gems, right? Like
Yeah.
their stones. Like she got hers on. So if you guys are looking for any those type of services, she's amazing at what she does. And I've gone. You guys should definitely go, and you won't regret it. So, love this live. Well, thank you guys again. If you guys haven't followed Jen, definitely go follow her. She
Yay.
says she's going to be posting a lot more. So, hopefully, that's true because some people are like, I'm going to start posting, and then they don't post anything. So, look, because they love the live. We got what 30,000 likes. So, shout out to everybody. So, whoever was in here chatting with us, and hopefully, I can start bringing a lot more people on and chatting with them. And if you guys want to rewatch this live, it's going to be on YouTube. Should be up by tomorrow, but we'll see. But I'll let you guys know. So, anyways, thank you again, Jen. Sorry I look away because I'm looking at my screen. The camera's over here, but I look
Yeah.
at the screen.
No
So,
worries.
but thank you and everybody else. I'll see you guys later. See you later.